Hey, it's Gabriel and welcome to WWADD. I've noticed that people actually don't watch my video to the end, and so they don't know whatever I say at the end of the video. The only thing I always say is don't forget to subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell so I get notified anytime I upload new video, and don't forget to click on the like button so that my video can be suggested to a lot of people who need them, because together we can save lives. I also try my best to make this particular channel a very interactive one, so at the end of the video I ask questions, but because you guys don't watch the video to the end, you don't really know the question I asked for you to comment in the comment section. In today's video, I'll be looking at the things every doctor would wish his or her patient does. If one way or the other you did some of these things I will say as a patient, then you need to actually adjust yourself, because we the doctors as well, I'm not yet a doctor, the doctors actually want certain things from you. If you've also not watched my previous video on things people don't actually like about doctors, watch it, because you also want things about you. There are certain things if you do we don't like, so look at the things that we also love that each and every of you as a patient should do before coming to the hospital, or as a patient in general, things you would love, we the doctors wish you would do. I always say I'm not yet a doctor, but things doctors wish you guys do for them. So let's get straight into the video. Respect. Yeah, respect is something every doctor would wish his or her patient gives to him or her, because like you always say, respect is reciprocal. If you think you're a minister and you've come to the hospital, you are not above a patient who is also in bed. You are all patients. At least everybody can die at any time. So it's very important you respect your doctor if you want respect in return. So respect is something each and every doctor wants from his or her patient. So respect is something very important. So like a Jamaican man will say, respect, respect. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. As a patient, you should always ask questions. You should be curious. You shouldn't be timid. You shouldn't be embarrassed to ask questions. You don't know, that's why you came to the hospital. You could have diagnosed yourself in the house. So ask questions. In case you've not watched my video on things people don't like about doctors, you should go back and watch it. I will just put it right here. I think it should be here instead. It will be there. So you should go and watch it. Because someone asked the question, or someone actually responded to the question that doctors actually shout at patients. So I think after watching the video, doctors will at least adjust a little bit, and so we'll be ready to answer your questions. So this time when you go to the hospital, ask questions. You will really need it for us to diagnose you. So ask questions, because asking questions will open up another question, and you end up telling us a whole lot about your history, and then it will be easier for us to diagnose you. So always ask questions when you go to the hospital. Be curious. Try to know more. It's very important. Plan ahead before you go to the consulting room. It's very important. It's very important, because every doctor would wish that whatever question you have, you should prepare it down or note them down before you come to the hospital. When I ask you to ask questions, that doesn't mean you should go to the hospital before asking questions. You should prepare them from the house before going to the hospital, so that when you ask the question, the doctor answers precisely. And then you make time for others too, because consulting is time bound, and so we need time for others as well. And also, in jotting your questions, you should always remember you should actually remember to put the important questions ahead. I mean, put the important question before the unnecessary one. Only if you have unnecessary questions. I feel like all questions are necessary. So yeah, put the important questions before unnecessary one, only if you have one. So it's very important to prepare before going to see a doctor. It's very important to prepare your questions before seeing the doctor. Every doctor would wish that his or her patient takes note of his symptoms. When I say take note of your symptoms, that doesn't mean you should keep it in your head, because you have a lot of things you think about. We actually have to think about your disease. You have to think about making your family very happy. So you can see that you have a lot of things in your head. So that's why it's very important to jot them down, write them somewhere anytime you experience any symptom, so that you don't forget the next time you go to the hospital. If you have syncope, you write them down. If you have a dyspnea, you write it down. If your eyes had a problem, or you actually lost sight for a minute, you write them down, because it's very important in diagnosing patient. So these little symptoms are the one that helps us catch the bigger diseases. So it's very important to jot them down anytime you experience any symptoms. Any time of the day, just write it down. At midnight, write it down. It's very important so you don't forget, because we need to save lives. And so you helping me or helping doctors actually helps in saving lives. Like I always say, let's save lives together. Track your medical history. Well, I understand it's the hospital's duty to track your medical documents. That's why they have your documents. But who knows, you might travel to another country and then you need to present yourself at the hospital. And the doctors over there need to know your medical history. How do you tell them? That's why it's very important to track them down. How do you track your medical history? You only need a doctor to write whatever you've been diagnosed with down, or write it for you so that you know what you have. Because going to the hospital the next time and you not knowing your medical history may lead to a lot of mistakes. For instance, if you are allergic to a medicine, you don't actually take that medicine again. So it's very important for you to track your medical history. So every doctor's wish is to know that their patients actually know what they have as diseases so that they don't do mistakes. Don't rely on the internet for diagnosis. I know you can read a lot more about your disease if your doctor have already diagnosed you with, but is it really necessary if you have doctors who can help you? You should always research carefully on the internet. There are some sites, honestly, they can give you psychological breakdown. So that's why it's very important for you not to diagnose yourself based on the information you've had on the internet. That's why you are being trained. So the next time you feel that you are not okay or you feel ill, don't go to Google and then type your disease, whatever you're having, headache, fever. You have a lot of diseases that can give you fever. They can be minor, they can be something major. So that's why it's very important not to diagnose yourself based on whatever you've gotten from the internet. Google is not a doctor. Google is a search engine. You should know that by now. One thing doctors find difficult treating is pain. You know why? Because your patient might not be telling you the truth. Treating pain is very tough because whatever the patient is feeling, it's not something the doctor is feeling as well. Trust me, you don't have any connection. Our nerves are not joined together. How do I feel whatever you are feeling? And so as a patient, we want the absolute truth. If we ask, okay, how do you class your pain from 1 to 10? You don't just say 7 if you know your pain is 2. Please. Just try to tell the truth. Because if your pain is very small and you try to tell me it's very high, I'll give you medicines that might have secondary effects on you. That's why it's very important to tell the absolute truth. Nothing but the truth. Just tell the truth. We need it as doctors. It's the wish of every doctor to see their patient change their lifestyle if they are being asked to. For instance, if you're a smoker and a doctor asks you to stop smoking, you get why they ask you. If you are someone who is obese and your doctor asks you to do exercises, there's a reason why he's asking you to do that. Let me give you a very good example. If someone has high blood pressure is a risk factor for cardiac diseases. In addition to that, smoking is also a risk factor. Obesity is a risk factor. Even the fact that you are a man is a risk factor. All these things combined can aggravate or can increase the rate at which you have these cardiac diseases. So already, if you have high blood pressure, which we need to treat with medications, you still have to live certain lifestyle that will help you reduce the higher risk of you getting the cardiac diseases. So you see the reasons why when you are being asked to adapt to certain lifestyle is very important. Another very good example, if you have chronic diseases, for instance, you are someone with diabetes, you need to adapt certain attitude in life that will help you maintain this particular chronic disease so that you can live longer. You have to, you have to maintain equilibrated so that it remains where it's supposed to be so that you don't aggravate your life, your issue. You know one thing, you guys actually come to hospital because you want to be relieved of the pain you are having. You want to be relieved of the problems you have because you have a lot of things to think about other than being sick. So that's why you come to the hospital. So you don't care about however we have to do to know what's wrong with you, whatever is wrong with you, you don't care. So you leave that aside. All you are interested in, doctor, give me medicine so that, I get relieved of my pain. Yes, so when we give you the medications to treat the same pains that you want to be relieved of, you don't take the medication. You not taking your medicine is not what the problem is always and has always been. It's about the quantity and the quality as well. For instance, when you are being asked to take a tablet in the morning and you skip it, people actually add it to the tablet of the evening, which is something you shouldn't be doing. When you are being asked to take paracetamol in the morning, do well to take it in the morning. And if you skip it, you've skipped it. There's no way you should add it to the one that you are supposed to take in the evening. Paracetamol itself as a medicine is very toxic for the liver. You should know that already. So the quantity and the quality plays a vital role. Another very good example is antibiotics. As you all know, antibiotics is any medication that's meant to treat bacteria. Now, when you take antibiotics any time of the day, or you take it when you are not supposed to take it, because your doctors will definitely tell you when you are supposed to take antibiotics, and you don't take it at the right time, what happens is the bacteria in your tummy actually develop resistance to these antibiotics. So the next time you take the antibiotics, it will never work. So your disease will still be there. It will still persist. And at the end of the day, bigger diseases that will come in the future, you don't have antibiotics to treat it. There are a lot of people who are resistant to medications. So for the best, you have to take their medications on time. And that's what every doctor wish. That's the wish of every doctor. So it's very, very important. So that is the wish of every doctor. So it's very important to know when and how to take your medications. Don't overdose yourself, and don't take it at any time of the day when you are being asked to take at a particular time. Feedback tells us if the medication we've given you is really working. There are a lot of people who, after taking medicine for the first 2 days, they feel like their symptoms has gone down a little bit. They don't care. They move on in life. Really? Remove attitude? No, that's not how it works. Come on. We need feedback. We need to know what we've given you is working. Hasn't it caused any damage to your system? Because every medication has side effects. So definitely we need to know. We need to know the medications you've taken is really working. So that's why we always invite you to come back to the hospital after 3 months, after 6 months, for us to know that, what we've given you is really working. So it's very important to always give us feedback. It's very important to always come back to the hospital, and that's the wish of every doctor. So these are some of the wishes of every doctor. So it's very important to obey whatever they ask you, because they know the reasons why they are asking you. So I've come to the end of the video, and you heard it for yourself. These are the wishes of every doctor. And if you're a patient and you are placed in this or you structure yourself in the wishes of every doctor, trust me, you get the whole, the attention in the whole world. You will get them. You wouldn't have problems with doctors, because that's what we also wish you do for us. Okay, so once again, in the comment section, if any of these things you didn't do it as a patient, just comment it in the comment section. Some of the things you didn't do, then you realize that these are the reasons why doctors are sometimes angry with you patients, because you didn't actually do what they wished you do. And that's why I brought it to you. And now you know. Make sure the next time you're going to the hospital, you do what they wish you do for them. Thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Comment in the comment section, because it's always been interactive and I love to read your comments as well. Like the video, and don't forget to share as well for your closest friends and people to also watch, so that they know the things doctors really want them to do as patients. And finally, don't forget to click on the notification bell, because it's very important, so you get notified anytime I post new video. And obviously I'm a Chelsea fan, so As you can see, why am I saying I'm a Chelsea fan? Well, see you guys in the next one, and this has been it.